As the first light of dawn broke across the eastern skies of Flores Island, Indonesia, no one could have predicted the chaos that would soon unfold. The morning of June 17th, 2025 began like any other, calm, humid, and quiet. But beneath the serene landscape, something was stirring deep within the earth. Without warning, Mount Lewotobi Laki-Laki, part of the twin-peaked Lewotobi volcanic complex, erupted with explosive force. Within seconds, a towering column of ash and gas burst from the crater, ascending rapidly into the atmosphere. Witnesses reported a blinding flash of light, followed by a thunderous roar that rattled windows and echoed across the island's lush valleys. The ground trembled as volcanic energy, locked beneath the surface for months, was suddenly released in a violent show of nature's raw power. The ash column quickly rose more than 11 kilometers into the atmosphere, surpassing the cruising altitude of many international flights. As it climbed higher, the sky darkened dramatically. Morning sunlight was smothered by a dense, fast-moving canopy of ash, casting a gray veil over entire villages. It was as if day had turned to dusk in the span of minutes. Residents from nearby towns such as Baru, Klatanlo, and Watu Ai watched in disbelief as the horizon vanished behind thick clouds of debris.
Sore hari ini abunya semakin banyak, teman-teman.
Monitoring stations detected a sharp and immediate spike in seismic activity. More than 50 eruption-related events, ranging from tremors to explosive bursts, were recorded in less than 2 hours. That is more than 5 times the daily average for this volcano. The eruption was fast, intense, and far more powerful than what many in the region had experienced in recent memory. Indonesia's geological authorities wasted no time. Within moments of the eruption, the alert status was raised to its maximum level. Emergency sirens rang out. Local radio stations interrupted their programming with urgent evacuation instructions. Police and military personnel were dispatched to assist with evacuations, and residents living within an 8-kilometer radius of the crater were ordered to leave their homes or remain indoors if immediate evacuation was not possible. The exclusion zone was widened to prevent access to high-risk areas, particularly river valleys and hillsides vulnerable to volcanic mud flows. Ash began to fall steadily, blanketing homes, rice fields, roads, and vehicles in a fine, pale gray powder. The consistency was so dense that within an hour, visibility in several towns dropped to near zero. People stumbled through the streets wearing surgical masks or makeshift coverings. Those without protection found it difficult to breathe, their lungs irritated by the microscopic particles. The acrid sulfuric smell of volcanic gases seeped into homes and schools. Children were pulled from classrooms and rushed home by parents, as schools across the region closed their doors. One of the primary concerns in the immediate aftermath of the eruption was air quality. Fine ash, when inhaled, can cause severe respiratory issues, especially in children, the elderly, and those with existing health conditions. Emergency response teams moved quickly to distribute face masks, set up medical stations, and launch mobile health units in affected areas. Doctors and nurses treated patients for eye irritation, breathing problems, and skin rashes caused by the falling ash. Meanwhile, villagers raced to cover wells, cisterns, and other water sources with tarps, cloth, and plastic sheeting. In regions where access to clean water is already a challenge, contamination from ashfall can have serious consequences. Authorities urged residents to boil or filter any water before consumption, and bottled water shipments began arriving at relief centers throughout the day. But ash was not the only threat. With rain clouds gathering over the mountains, a new danger began to form. Lahars, fast-moving rivers of mud, water, ash, and debris, are a deadly consequence of volcanic eruptions in tropical climates. When heavy rain mixes with freshly fallen ash, the resulting slurry can sweep away everything in its path. Roads, bridges, farmland, and even entire villages can be buried in a matter of minutes. Authorities warned those living along riverbanks and steep hillsides to be prepared for rapid evacuations. Evacuation drills conducted in previous months now became life-saving procedures. In the skies above, aviation officials worked around the clock to monitor the ash plume. Volcanic ash is one of the most dangerous threats to aircraft, capable of melting inside engines and causing total power failure. While no immediate flight cancellations were announced, several carriers began rerouting planes around the ash cloud's projected path. Airspace in the region remained under constant observation, with satellite data helping to track the spread of the eruption's fallout. This eruption comes on the heels of months of unrest at Mount Lewotobi Laki-Laki. Since late 2023, scientists have been monitoring increased seismic activity, gas emissions, and surface deformation, signs that magma was moving beneath the volcano. Smaller eruptions in March and May of 2025 forced brief evacuations and raised public awareness, but nothing prepared the region for the scale of the June 17th event. The twin volcanoes, Lewotobi Laki-Laki and Lewotobi Perempuan, are steeped in local legend and geological importance. Historically, they have been known for periods of dormancy followed by sudden, forceful eruptions. In 1921 and again in 2003, major eruptions displaced thousands. The current eruption, however, has already surpassed both in ash volume and frequency of eruptive bursts, suggesting the volcano may be entering a more prolonged active phase.
Uy!
Tutup semua batena. Ay mama sadis main hari ini. Hei mama Hei. Sadis
In response, scientific teams remain stationed around the mountain, using drones, seismographs, and gas detectors to monitor ongoing changes. They reported increased carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide emissions in the days leading up to the eruption, indicating magma was rising. Satellite imagery confirmed heat anomalies and ground swelling. While this helped forecast potential activity, the precise timing and strength of the eruption remained unpredictable until it happened.
Hoppa.
Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.